some people come in. That's awesome.
Did I miss a lot for the first one?
I don't know. Did we miss a lot?
No, at the same time. Okay.
It's basically, we went over the basics. So yeah, we went over the basics of Facebook and YouTube, setting up your channel to be DRE compliant. As a matter of fact, near the end of class, everybody got to, I asked everybody to make their own intro video for 30 seconds, just right on the cuff, who they were, what they did, how to get in touch with them. And I'm hoping that everybody will post afterwards. So
Post
super
on
helpful,
YouTube.
fun.
Post on YouTube or Instagram.
YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, plus
TikTok.
TikTok. If you want to do TikTok, just as Marky would tell you, she stays away from TikTok. Why? The demographic is 18 to 25. How many 18 to 25-year-olds do you as a realtor know are buying a home?
Yeah.
Not that we, now if they're making money on YouTube, $26 million a year at 8 years old, maybe they got a little cash on hand to want to buy mom and dad a house. But not all those kids have that availability. Excuse me, as I wet my whistle. All right. And of course, record. Excellent. Other than that, I hope everybody else is having fun. I hope you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
You got stuck with me here. Good. I don't like to try to give too much boring content.
Trying to focus on the time already.
Well, we do have a lot of fun information to go over. So this one, it should be pretty cut and dry. So my idea behind this is, and you can apply this to any social media platform, the content, your strategy, your, the type of stuff to do, both on Facebook as well as YouTube. So have a little fun with that. Other than that, yes, camera does add 10 pounds. How you doing? What's your name? Yanni, nice to meet you. Blair, excellent. We're going to get everybody's names on camera. We got James Gee, and then young lady? Julia. Susan, excellent. Got a full class. And I'm assuming I used to. Now with COVID and everything,
Slow down. After.
I think a lot of people have just found it easier to be online in their classes now, right? Because who doesn't like being at home in your bunny slippers and your bathrobe, learning?
But that's why you gotta get out of it sometimes,
Got to get out or else you go stir crazy. Not to mention nowadays, more and more clients want you to be out there showing them property. So as much as we like to stay home, we're now getting slowly back out there. Like tomorrow, I've got classes in Irvine and in Westminster, and then Thursday I'm somewhere else. So as much as I like to, these past couple of years, let me just sit at home and be on my video. It's nice to see interactions. It's hard with Zoom, but I love Zoom for, basic video recording, going over contracts. How easy is it just to share your screen nowadays and just reiterate, hey, what term do you want? What do you want me to negotiate? Are you okay with recording this? That way you can give it to them and say, here's a recording of our conversation. So, and if you're doing that, make sure they're okay with that first, right? Before you hit the record button, are you okay if we record the session? Right? Because clients can get really hinky, especially if you guys are talking about certain contractual things, just gotta be careful. So. Yeah, fun stuff. How long have you been a real estate agent?
2 years.
Excellent. Young lady?
Me 2 years too.
Excellent. 2,
Almost half, almost one. sorry.
almost 1. I got another 2 and another. Excellent. 2 year.
Wow.
You all have gotten in at an interesting time, I tell you. So you went through a really hot market 2 years ago to really somewhat hot.
That's a roller coaster.
It's definitely a roller coaster. Interest rates scared me. But inventory is super low.
That's why it's a good time to learn.
Good time to learn your stuff, because if something bad happens, heaven forbid, you'll know how to, if you're starting to do what you're marketing, which it's funny, a lot of agents aren't right now. You'll weather that storm.
So like go in right now, right, with the flyer, with the social media, with door knocking, even though it's slow, so that once it's back up, then you occupy that market.
You've been out there, people know you and recognize you, right? It's like anything. You also want at least 5 to 6 different pipelines of where you want to pull your business from, right? If you only focus on one and that one all of a sudden dries up and dies, what are you doing? Oh God, what am I gonna do? At least if you're door knocking, if you're doing social media, if you're doing, you know, whatever other needs, mailers and stuff. You know, you're at least trying to get different pipelines of business. If you're buying leads from, you know, a Zillow or a Redfin or Realtor.com or Nestfully. I think Nestfully, yeah, so have we heard anything about Nestfully yet?
No, what is that?
What is that?
So it's a conglomeration between Sierra MLS, Florida's largest MLS, and Colorado. Right now, what they've done is they've created a company, which is a public front-facing portal to allow members of the public to go and find properties. The added bonus is that they reach out to, want to talk to an agent for that listing, it goes directly to that agent. It doesn't go through a phone, a phone system to the recommended agents, right? Now, my understanding is there will be a portal for agents to advertise themselves, but it'll be free. So it's an advertising platform that you can make sure that your account is set up correctly, that your information on it is correct. So when people go to find a realtor, they're finding you.
Like we don't have enough already.
But it's, again, it's free. I know, it's another thing. Well, their thing is to be in a direct competition with Zillow. Well, I shouldn't say just Zillow,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
any of the large tech companies that have a large portion of the consumer access. So this is another way into that. So I think it's a really interesting concept. They just launched it 2 weeks ago. So they're hoping in the next 18 months to have a majority of the United States on board, sharing all of their MLS data. So even you as an agent might have a client that wants to go to Florida, you could hop on there, look at Florida properties, reach out to the agents, and then you get a referral fee. Yes.
Since we're talking about like new platforms that are coming out, like the new one called Casa was new-ish.
Well, Picasa is a Google picture editor.
No,
isn't
no,
it?
so there's a new, I guess like Zillow and Google made another thing that's like not super known. And it's like basically it's buying a property, but it's an eighth of a share.
Oh,
So-
yes. Yeah. Here's the dangerous part. You buy an eighth of a share. That means you own an eighth of the home. Good. But now, when do you get to go into it? You now have to coordinate with 7 other people to be able to coordinate to stay at that property. Right? Well, okay. Then you're negotiating. You now have to not only qualify with all 7 people to get on the loan, but you now need to coordinate and agree to the time that you're agreeing to. Now, what happens if you want to change that? You gotta now work out with 7 other people to change when you want to go and spend your 8th time of the year at that property. Right? Which can be a little convoluted, but now we'll say you want to sell your portion. What's the issue? The issue is you're obligated to sell to 7 other shareholders first. They may or may not be able to take on more shares, which now puts that in effect, your 1/8. Does that 1/8 now have to requalify for your 8, or do they have to now all again reapply for their loan? What he's talking about that.
I think because I did research, it seems like 1/8, the share will go back on their marketplace. So it's like, just, that's how they're saying, they relist it as like, okay, here's a 1/8 available to buy or sell, and they have it each week. But I'm just wondering,
I think when you start getting into what happens if you die?
Yeah.
And now you've got 3 kids, you willed your share, which now goes from an 1/8 to what, a 16th or a 12th of a share. Right, so your share gets broken up in thirds, but then now you've got 10 other people. Which now, what happens at that? It can get very ugly. Then all of a sudden, all they need is one person to say, I want to sell. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to work with these people anymore. The courts could then say, all of you have to sell it. Right? Because it happened with my dad's property where it ended up through the years, it was owned by 13, 14 different people. So then all of a sudden, half of them wanted to sell, half of them wanted to keep it. Then there was this big dispute. The court said, sell it.
Oh, wow,
There is no choice. Get rid of it and then divvy up your portions.
wow.
They sold the home for $200,000 in 1991. Today it's worth 1.4 million.
should have kept it.
For the sake is that there's
The court-
multiple, there's no way.
See it.
When it comes to when you're starting to separate out, and then of course, what happens to property taxes? Each and one of you are responsible for an 1/8 of those property taxes. Well, what happens if you don't pay your portion? Does the state care? No. There's a property tax. And now what happens? Your 7 other people now come after you, your portion, which that could be litigation. I think it's a real messy thing that, unless you're family.
That's also, if they don't have a trust, right, then that goes through probate, and that's another headache.
If you don't have it in a trust or an LLC, and they're all individual names, which is what sounds like Zillow is doing, which some, not just Zillow, but other brokerages are starting to try to do. I think not everybody's looked at all the legalities or all the potential possibilities. I think everybody's crossing their fingers, hoping everybody will play along. But we all know how that goes. Just takes one bad day. Right? Or maybe you need the money. So I don't
Because
know.
then also, if you sell your share, maybe the 7 other people want to have a say of who you sell it to as well, right? 'Cause
That's why
all
I think here in California, it says that you have to go with the investors first or the other partners first before it can be publicly marketed.
Okay.
So I think it just depends on the area, but yeah, I mean, it sounds appealing. I think for the younger generation when things so high, it's an opportunity. And hey, okay, so I got different properties around. I think as an investment, it's hard because if you're thinking about it, passive income wise, like it's a rental. Now you've got to split it up 8 ways.
Yeah, it's more for secondary homeowners. That's what it's more targeting.
Right.
It's an interesting
It's a
thing to
niche.
look at because it's the way they describe it, like they do it under LLC. Everyone has their own ownership. And then basically, if you want to sell, you just put it back on their system.
Mhm.
But yeah, property tax, I don't know, things like that. But it's just, I'm curious because you're talking about like how
I think
they're
there's,
trying to make stuff.
personally, I think there's a lot to be said. I know that the experts out there will all have their different opinions. It's just, I think it just depends on who you're talking to, but that's why I teach. Yes.
For the next fully, so basically right now it's just tests in California, Florida, and Colorado. So all 3 of the MLSs are talking to each other. But they're hoping the next 18 months, all 50 states,
Mhm.
then it becomes more of like
Like
a
a
nationwide.
nationwide database for consumers to go to, but more appealing for real estate agents to advertise and for free to gain client leads.
Because say if I have a listing on the website, instead of like Zillow, they will have their Zillow Premier Agents info. It will be my info as the listing agent that the consumers
And
will.
Zillow does put you down as a listing agent. It's just that it's hard to find.
Oh, okay.
right? Whereas here, they're always agent, promoting first, like the listing agent, which
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
And then there may be an area for you to contact another agent. I haven't seen it yet. I've only played with it once or twice, but it looks really pretty.
I need to sign up right
So Nestfully, NESTFULLY.com.
Perfect.
And
All right.
then,
Yes, huh? Oh, Nestfully. All right. Well, good. Let's get started. All right. My name is Anthony. I work here at Orange County Realtors. Welcome to our social media marketing class module number 2, talking about the game plan. Thank you, most of you, for being here all day with me, or most of the day with me, putting that with me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Anthony. I work here at the board, been here for 20 years plus. Started off in the analyst department. Guaranteed I'll speak to everybody regarding rules, regulations, violations, all that fun stuff. What I'm also involved with is our outreach program. Our outreach program is designed to give you training on all your tools. So training on MLS, how to run searches, identify listings, create CMAs, zip forms, which most of you were here for our zip forms class earlier today. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully you found that fun. And of course, I love training on tech. So what we're going to do today is developing our strategy for social media. Now, developing our strategy all starts, it's like playing chess. It's like playing any game. You got to have a strategy in order to win. You can't win or expect to win or be successful without some sort of game plan, right? It's in chess, right? You got 15, 20 different strategies in order to win at the game. No different when it comes to social media. Now, for social media, and I have my good mentor to thank for this, Craig Grant. 3 basic strategies when it comes to social media. Number 1, all your social media postings and things like that are related to real estate that you are the expert on. And by the way, you don't have to take pictures of this, so I can get you the presentation, right? But here, that's all you post all day long. You're an expert in the real estate business, only been in here for 2 years plus. That's all you post. Now, strategy number 2, all you post is non-real estate related items, right? Things that drive you passionately in your life. You want people to connect with you, right? Now, there's a third strategy. The third strategy says it's a mixture of both. Something that you're an expert on in your business, in your career, yet other things that you're passionate about that you want people to come to you about. So out of these 3 strategies that you can do for real estate and social media marketing, which one best suits you? Sir?
Probably number 1 or 3.
Number 1 or 3, great.
3.
Number 3, 3. Great, all right, okay, good. So we've got some 3s, a couple of 1s, excellent, right? Whatever, there's no wrong way to do it, right? None of these strategies are wrong. It's just your different approach, what you're comfortable with. But no matter what, when it comes to social media, you got to be yourself. Okay, I want you to be fun and open to engage with people. And of course, you want to be a friend, a source of information that people can come to and ask questions to. Right? So these are the 3 things that we need to be. We need to be ourselves, we got to be creative, and of course, we want to be a friend and a source of information. Right? Why we have friends to begin with, why there's social media to begin with, right? It's all about developing friends, closeness, to be able to engage with each other for all these aspects, right? So, being yourself. Relationships are built on your vulnerability, okay? Jim Morrison said, a friend is someone who gives you total freedom to be yourself. And is that true? Everybody feel like they can be themselves around their friends? Of course. Anybody here ever hold back? No. New friendships maybe, but your close friendships you don't, right? By the way, did you know that people buy from people that they trust? Well, if I'm a person that allows other people to be vulnerable with me and I can be vulnerable with them, and if I can be fully myself and they can be fully themselves, are they going to trust me to maybe want to purchase or sell floors? Right? Basically, your online persona has to meet and has to be who you are. Whoops. Didn't mean for that to happen. Do. Come on. You would think. There we go. Your online personality should reflect your offline. Right? How many of you have ever done online dating? Anyone? No one's ever done online dating. You probably never had to do online dating. Did you? No, you just snap your fingers.
No.
You guys just go like,
It's just not.
have you ever dated and been disappointed that the person that you thought you were dating was not the person that you were dating? Yeah, right.
But young and you met a lot.
Doesn't matter if you're young or old. Let me tell you, which is why I got married. Right? Thank goodness that she can put up with me. Right? God love her. She puts up with a lot when it comes to me. But anybody else here do online dating? Nobody does a swipe? No, thank goodness, right? All right. But I don't know what, Match.com. I don't know if they have eHarmony anymore. Right?
Tinder is the best, I guess.
Tinder,
That's-
that's the swipe. Now that's all about, we won't go there, but the whole idea was, or even just chatting, right? If you chatted online, you probably liked the person that you were chatting with online. But then if you ever had a chance to meet up, like coffee, dinner, whatever, and then you became a doorknob, meaning deadpan, no personality whatsoever, you were disappointed, right? Yeah. She sent me a cute picture. Then when she showed up, she was 50 years older than what she's disappointed, right? Yeah, see, look, he's like, yeah, it's okay. You've been there.
It doesn't have to be dating. It could just be that, I have Instagram, there's other affiliates reach out to me, but then they use a heavy filter. So when we meet for business, I don't recommend the
Or the
person.
business
course.
card, the business
Yeah,
card,
it's like,
you filter it all, like,
Technology.
maybe she's like, her gift is fine, like, I'm totally fine with her, but then she gives me her business card, and she's like 15 there, I'm like.
Exactly. We've got to be truthful in our advertising, right? No different when it comes to our relationships. If they feel that we've lied to them, we've lost their trust, then we're betrayers, right? What's that? Oh. Anybody here have Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Have you seen that reality show on Netflix called The Circle?
no.
Oh my God, it's all about like trolling and what's the common term? Catfishing.
Oh.
Who's the catfish, right? So you got a room or a condo complex with different people sitting in other rooms. They're not allowed to interact with each other other than social media. And it is amazing how many people will come up with their crazy personalities. And then when somebody gets kicked out, they actually get to meet one of the people. And it's so funny to actually see how people have reacted. Right? So it's very interesting. But when it comes to our business, we obviously don't want to be disappointing. We don't want to disappoint the people that we're meeting and allowing us to get to know each other, right? Sure, we want to be vulnerable. Sure, we could talk about, hey, every afternoon I need to take a little break, calm down from a crazy busy day. Maybe I sit in the corner, rock myself a little bit. Now, do I have to tell everybody that I cry every 20 minutes every day? No. We can hold back a little bit. It's fine. But at least we allow that. We're truthful about that. And when they meet us, maybe we can sit down together. Hey, are you having a good day? Yeah, I'm having a good day. Maybe I just need to take a little break from a little bit, whatever. We can do that by being ourselves. And of course, follow me. There we go. Next. My little camera's having a little fun. All right. Being creative and fun, you got to think of unique ways to communicate with people, right? The way in which we communicate with people will be how we will build our rapport. How many of you are introverts? Anybody? One. But are you online?
Yeah, not for real
for gaming, right? But guess what? But you were boisterous, loud, and an extrovert, right? We just gotta bring that over into the social media is no different. Right? But how would you communicate with somebody else that you might find might be a gamer as well? Right, one and the same. Right? What was one of the games you played? Minecraft, excellent. What's a common term in Minecraft that people would know as a funny term that maybe a client that you meet who plays Minecraft would understand? You'd have to think about that. What happens if you screw up? What would be a big thing that people were talking about?
In the game?
In the game. But there you go, you got blown up by a creeper. I feel like I got blown up by a creeper by not getting that offer accepted. Right? Isn't that the most terrible feeling? When your client who plays Minecraft go, yeah, man, that would kind of suck. Sorry you're going through. Right? I played World of Warcraft for many years. And all the noobs, the newbies, right? One of the goofy terms. What is it? Leroy Jenkins. Right?
That's how we-
Well, it's Leroy Jenkins. Basically, it was all set up for, hey, let's go in and have a raid. And this one guy just said, I don't care if anybody's ready. He went and screamed online, Leroy Jenkins charged in and killed the entire team. It was like 300 people all lost their little chances to win the game because he blew the raid. And of course, the term was coined, pulling Leroy Jenkins, a doofus, right? So if you're a World of Warcrafter back in the day, Leroy Jenkins was a thing. If we communicate with the people in a fun, entertaining way, coming out of our shells a little bit, we're going to be able to build those rapport or that rapport. Now, here's one. A friend gives great information. People always ask their most trusted friends for advice and guidance in making any big decision. Is that true? Ladies, you just dated somebody or started to date somebody, what did you first thing do? You brought them around your friends, right? Why? Because the impression that your friends got from the person you're dating different? You didn't bring them around anybody?
Well, I mean, you know, you always heard it.
What about mom and dad? Did you ever bring your significant other around your mom and dad? Did anybody ever know you were dating? Did you ever know that you got married? No? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You got married in secret. Your kids know that you got married? Okay. Did you ever meet any of your kids' significant others?
No.
No, well, you kept them away from you too. Okay. Well, you're making it difficult. But the idea is, okay,
That's true.
what about your friends when you first bought your home? You own your home?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever ask anybody for advice about buying your house besides your real estate agent and your significant other? No, you did everything on your own. You have no friends whatsoever?
I do have friends.
So you don't ever ask them for any important advice? You're having problems dealing with somebody, anything like that? No? Okay.
I'm not go up here, so my friends is all over different places.
Okay, that's fine.
So, but they don't understand, you know, how.
That's
how we
okay.
live here. So.
Well, but what about there? Do they ever ask you advice? They never ask you any advice? Oh, okay, that's a good friendship. I kind of like friends like that.
Yeah, I'm very lonely.
Oh, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But the idea is when it comes to your clients, if you can build that rapport,
That's
you
true.
create that friendship, your clients who are now your friends are going to ask you for major advice about any big decision that they want to make. Is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to buy? How much money should I spend? Can I spend that money? Right?
Yeah, I have a neighbor, they like to come to me to ask for question, advice, but at the end, they hire somebody else.
Well, okay. Well, that's something that probably why you don't want them as neighbors anymore.
Because sometimes you want to be very helpful
Yeah,
and you give up too much information.
well, we'll
And-
talk about that today.
Yeah, so that that way people think that, oh, I know different things, so they, how you call that? One of my realtor friends told me, even a lot of information when your client come to, or your customer come to you, you just give half of them.
Well, yes,
Okay.
that's a way,
Yeah, because if they know everything that you tell them and they go to somebody else, and so.
well, there's a reason why. Did you ever
because I'm
ask your
wasting
neighbor?
my
No. Let's think about it this way. If somebody came to you as a friend to ask you for advice, right? And then they went off to use somebody else, are they truly a friend?
No,
Okay, so there lies the underlying problem. They're probably not truly a friend and they just want free advice because they know that you're an experienced agent. And why shouldn't they use you? You're just right next door, maybe. Or, hey, I know we're neighbors, but I'm embarrassed by showing you my home because we've never been in you've never been in their home before. There could be that too. But no matter what, if they came to you looking for advice, that's a good thing. The only other thing that we now need to do is, because we have that rapport or should have that rapport with them, to be able to, when we give them that advice, not give it from the standpoint or of a perception of, hey, let me help you sell your home. If I'm truly giving you advice, based on what you've told me, I don't think you can afford a home right now. If you can do whatever you do, but you might want to wait. You don't want to put yourself in some financial straits, this, that, and the other. Maybe if based on our friendship, she might take that part. As much as she may want that right now, or he may want that right now. If they trust our friendship and trust our relationship, and now I'm coming at it from that standpoint of not just looking out for me, looking out for you, which is what friendship's all about. Now, all of a sudden, when she's able to afford it, you think she's going to go to hopefully another agent? Hopefully not. Why? Because we already looked out. Okay, I've looked out for their situation. Hey, we've built a rapport, we trust each other. We've got Leroy Jenkins and creepers on it. But we also know each other's finances to the point where, hey, I'm looking out for you guys and make sure you're okay. So I don't want you all making a big decision without properly thinking about it. Because nothing will ruin your day more when you get into that bad loan, a short sale, you got a foreclosure. Now all of a sudden, who are they going to blame? Their friend. So I'm being honest with them. We got to do that because that's a big thing.
think the real estate a little bit different, how you call that, is mostly the money. Because even you have a best friends and they come to you, do you get advice and everything, and you way beyond, but at the end, oh, how much tuition you can pay? I mean.
Well,
and
money
then
is a
you
big factor.
You truly tell them, okay, this is what my.
I'm going to ask, you watch HGTV?
I was flipping flop sometimes.
Flipper Flop, there we go. I watched it the other day, or I think it's now called El Tamar. Yeah, El Musa sells homes or whatever. He went from being very humble to, yeah, they're crazy. But that's what people of the public are seeing. Well, guess what perception they have of you all as real estate agents? Each and every one of you in this room makes over $1 million. All you do is put a for sale sign on the property, do one open house, and you should have 50 offers and sell it that day without any contracts or inspections or anything like that. And you've made your $80,000 commission, right? Or 100,000 or whatever, right? Is that realistic? Is that reality? No, I think Flipper Flop, HGTV, all these people who talk about how easy it is to flip and all this other stuff. Hey, the actual project may be easy, but the heck you guys have to go through for proper disclosure, contract negotiation, and all this advertising, all that other stuff. Nobody ever sees that. Right? How many of you believe everything you read on the internet? Exactly, right? And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that believe what's written on the internet, it must be true. No different on TV. This is why we need to build those rapports, re-educate. We are now not just as real estate agents buying and selling people's homes. We're now educators, we're friends, sometimes family, right? By the way, what's more of a family friend than buying and selling people's memories? You're all involved in stuff, right? But let's get back to this. Things you want to talk about. The market, what are the conditions? Is it a buyer's market, seller's market, right? You're gonna have things like that to be able to talk about that on a regular basis. Talk about the community. One of the things that I've started to see pop up, at least Midwest, East Coast, why people are moving to the cities that they're moving to. What are the benefits of the cities? Well, sir, you said you've been here in Orange County for what, 20 years?
20 years.
All in Irvine?
Oh,
And I learned today, Irvine has a great ice rink,
boy.
4 ice rinks. And the best one is Great Park, where he plays hockey as a goalie, right? So talk about those things, because when people want to move somewhere, they want to learn as much as they can about it. It's great to go to the city website, but what is the city website going to always say? Best thing since sliced bread since we were founded, right? These are our community events. This is what we do, but it looks super boring. How many people want to live up in LA right now? With the homeless, right? The taxes and of course, all that stuff, right? But do you see that on their website? No, it's the greatest place to live right now, right? You all get to talk about those types of things. Be honest about that. People want to know. Current events, talk about current events. What's going on? You don't have to talk politics. That's a no-no. But hey, what's going on? Maybe the city's holding something, a special fireworks event. Or maybe the community center is opened up for seniors to go back to, art classes or whatever. People want to know about stuff like that. Obviously, we want to talk about things that interest us, right? Shows, TVs, articles, gaming, right? I don't like to be creeped on in Minecraft. Hate it, ruins my day, right? My buildings nowadays are all up for sale. Come meet me in the metaverse. By the way, that's a thing. People are buying property in the metaverse. It's crazy. How do you buy a blank building? But hey, Ready Player One. Anybody watch that movie?
Watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming up to that. Now, obviously, if there's things to talk about, there's obviously things to avoid. Trivial things like maybe walking the dog. But wait a minute, it's a beautiful day here in Irvine, and look at the gorgeous view while I'm walking the dog. Hey, that's perfect. But nobody wants to see that you just woke up, you went downstairs, you went to the bathroom, then you had a donut, then you washed your hands. Nobody wants to read all that, especially in that order. All right. Obviously, we want to avoid polarizing topics, religion and politics. That's the big one right now, at least politics. I've never seen so many people get so volatile over the difference of opinions when it comes to politics. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Oh my God, I got to unfriend you. Can't talk to you anymore. Ugh.
I'm in. If it's ring a bell, so. Yeah.
It is a disaster. My day, when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, one thing that we tried to avoid at the dinner table was politics and religion. Why? Somebody always fought. Now, we didn't get into fist fights like they do nowadays, but you got verbal discussions and heated discussions. We can still have discussions, just take it offline. Right? Yes, ma'am.
So, for example, would this fall into this category? I'm involved with a charity that is like supporting Ukraine people, that sort of thing, and would it have an event? How does that fall into this category?
Are you saying because I'm a Republican or a Democrat or I'm an independent, I'm holding this event? Or is it just, hey, we're holding this event to help people in need in the Ukraine?
Yeah,
So it's
not political. But
it's not political, and your charity is a charity, right? I would definitely push the charity aspect. Now, what reasons why you're having that, you may want to be mindful of, like, we're voting it because my political views, then that may be something you want to be careful, right? Because if you think about it, if right now people are split 50-50 in their decision about politics on your social media, guess what? Your clients are 50-50. You want to alienate 50% of your business. It's okay to have your own personal opinion. Just be mindful of where you're having that opinion at. Do you have it offline in a private conversation? Sure. Do people have it publicly? Yes. Do I always agree with that? No. Is it good for their business? Especially when you have a heated discussion that can turn vulgar and rude and obnoxious. What happens when a client sees you be rude and obnoxious just because somebody has a different opinion? What does that say about you? Probably doesn't look favorable on you, right? Especially if you encourage it. Oh boy, exactly, right? So we want to avoid that because that affects our business as well, right? If you come in and you start dropping F-bombs to me and I start dropping F-bombs back, and what happens here? Somebody catches all that on film. What does that say about how you conduct yourself in business? You're a hothead. You're not a very nice person. Your online persona does not match what you are in real life. Now you're a liar. Anybody here want to be a liar? Not nice to be a liar. By the way, try not to criticize other people. That's rude, right? And of course, don't sell things in the wrong venue. Just be mindful if it's meant for a private chat area or a personal area for you all to connect personally. Try not to sell stuff there. Okay, as much as you like to.
Question.
Yes, sir.
When you say that, can you, the wrong venue, can you explain that a little more? Like, I'm thinking of an example of
Facebook personal page. You shouldn't put any of your advertising with any of your homes. Now, if you put it on your business page first, and then you decide to share it, but then you put it to your list like we talked about, then that's okay. Because you're now targeting people that might be of interest of that topic, right? And we'll talk about your messages here in just a second, but those are things to kind of talk about. Right?
I was just wondering, like, say you have like some sort of like real estate channel.
Mhm.
You want to have like a sponsor for that channel.
Then that's fine, because that's a venue for that type of thing. But what you don't want to do is have the dog chat or Lisa Viejo, where everybody talks about the dogs, and the first thing you do is, hey, by the way, I got a home for sale in Lisa Viejo. Anybody here want to buy or sell their home?
Dog friendly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dogs allowed. Now, the next thing here, what and how your message stands out. Have to make your messages stand out nowadays. So, introvert, we got to now become an extrovert to a degree. I know that's hard, but you know what? I don't know of too many real estate agents that don't make themselves stand out in some fashion. I know it's hard. I know it's extremely hard, but don't be afraid to stand out in the crowd. This is what's going to get you noticed, and this is what's going to get you to earn your friendships. Here are different postings of your messages. Young lady I was just talking about earlier, Marky Lemon Ryle. I love her. This is what she's got on her Facebook. All she's talking about is how honored she feels for being honored by NAR's Realtor magazine for her achievements. And it was her second year in a row. So she wrote a little blog about it, even reposted the article from NAR. Okay, that's great. Here's one, something super simple. Anybody here into organic living?
Yeah.
A simple post, window cleaner 101, part 1 vinegar, 1 part hot water, streak free. Right? Nowadays, with the COVID and cleaners and everything else, our house probably smells like Clorox bleach. Right? Anybody? Right? Or Perel? Anybody here have a ton of things of Perel? Wouldn't that be nice to know that something's easy and organic and you can almost make yourself? What is the cost of vinegar? What, $4? How much is hot water? I don't know, whatever's out of the tap. Right? Heat it up in the microwave if I wanted to. Now all of a sudden, just go around. Now my house smells like apple cider vinegar. Right? Here's one. Maybe you do and use an infographic. Rent versus buy. And now you talk about not negative, but positives about renting and positives about buying. What's this now do? You're not overly wordy. You get people to start thinking, do I like being a renter? Or are there more advantages to owning a home? Here's one. Which backyard would you prefer? Leave it open-ended. Now, a couple of years ago, when I went to this slide, one of the agents in my class went, no way. I said, when? Can't work. Trust me, it was. So what she did, she had 2 listings, one in San Clemente, one in Huntington Beach. 2 totally different backyards, obviously. She took a picture editor, put them together, said those exact words. Put it to her Facebook. In 2 days, she had 300 views, 500 comments from people because of Facebook business page, whereby half said they liked the top, the other half liked the bottom. 16 people said, I want to see the top home in San Clemente. The other 15 people said, I want to see the bottom home. She got into escrow in 2 weeks on both properties. Just from one simple picture that just asked one question. She didn't even have to say anything else. She left it there. Hey, I like that backyard. Where's that at? She wrote the comment back. It's in Huntington Beach. It's one of my listings. Can I see it? Is it still available? What's going on? What else can you tell me about the home? Boom. She's out there showing property. Super easy to do. You could do it on PowerPoint. You could do it on Keynote. You could do it on, Canva, beautiful AI, wherever to make your image. Maybe, which ice rink would you prefer? Put up 2 ice rinks, 2 areas. What game do you like? What wine do you like? Red or white? I'm asking a question.
Oh.
Honestly, white or red? White?
Right.
Red, excellent. Cab or Merlot?
Cab.
Excellent. Your messages are being received. So how are you telling your message? Are you writing it, texting it? Are you doing videos and pictures? Funny enough, 9% of all information comes through our visual cortex. Okay. I will say that 70-40. People remember 70%, respond 40% better to visual information versus plain text. Why? Most people don't like to read. Picture says 1,000 words. A 1-minute video conveys what 1.8 million words can convey. People see things, interpret things differently. They want to inquire a little bit more about it, right? That's why video is so powerful today. And it increases your engagement by 170%. So if you're writing a post or you're putting up a post, at least include either a picture or a video in it. Okay. Other parts of your plan, time management. Okay. Got to schedule time. Life's all about schedules, right? You as realtors, all about the schedule. What do you have to schedule, Mr. Escrow? What? Inspections, when to close, appraisal, all that stuff, right? Social media is no different. Now, contrary to popular belief, it's not hours spent. You don't have to spend all day doing Facebook. You can, it's easy. Anybody here ever get caught in the Facebook video whirlpool, where one video gets uploaded and the next and the next and the next, and before you know it, you've spent hours there? TikTok too, right? I think I started looking at videos at 8, and before I knew it was 12:30. I'm like, holy cow, these are only 1 minute long. When is a good time to post? When's the worst time to post? Huh? Oh, because they don't have it anymore. That's why. But Facebook, the worst time is between 12 and 8. Why? Most people are asleep. When's the best time or day of the week to post? Thursdays and Fridays on Facebook, because people want to know about their weekends, plan their weekends. Instagram, Monday's a good time. Worst time, 12 to 8 kind of thing. So schedule it, put it in your schedule to post. Now, here's one. How many times per day? This should actually be per day. 3 times per day. Now you say, oh my God, why? Because you feel that you have to maybe spend a lot, right? 15 to 20 minutes tops. It's their algorithm that you want to key off. What Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook and Instagram mostly, how often they see people use their product. It's use, not time, but use. So if you allot yourself 20 minutes a day, 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 5 to 10 minutes in the evening. When you wake up, go on, maybe you make some comments, talk about your day, starting it off. Then midday, maybe where you're at, what you're doing in the middle of the day. You're door knocking in a beautiful neighborhood in Laguna Hills. Evening, hey, had a great day, had a great showing, writing up a couple of offers. And now it's just sitting down enjoying a nice cooked meal of bologna sandwich and crackers. Right? Maybe I go through my postings, go through my custom lists, look at my client, maybe my buyer list, comment on a couple of posts. Takes you less than a minute to comment on someone's post. Better than the thumbs up, thumbs down. Hey, I like that. Oh, congratulations, whatever. Shows engagement. If you do at least 3 times a day, that will at least get your posts seen, or at least get 4 out of your 5 postings seen by your audience. 4 out of 5. Whereas typically if you go on once a day, it's 2 out of 5 posts. They want to see how frequently you go to their system. Okay. Now, some successful tips. Thursday and Friday between 1 and 2 are considered the best times to post on Facebook. So this is a good time. If you do have open houses, post that there. Now, businesses, other big businesses are posting at least 8 times a day. I'm saying and suggesting at least 3. Let's start you off small. Because obviously you can always go on last second. Hey, we went to a concert, we're having a great dinner, whatever, right? Those will be extra posts, which will just add bonus. Post multiple times a day throughout. Images account for 70 to 90% of your Facebook ad performance. So if you're doing targeted ads for any reason on your Facebook business page, include either pictures or video. 47% of Facebook ads happen in the first 3 seconds. 26% of Facebook users who clicked on an ad actually reported making a sale from that ad. It's a numbers game. So just think, you post a property on your Facebook, you put a targeted ad about it, you've got a 26% chance that somebody who clicks on it is actually going to want to make an offer. For, again, a typical ad, $100 for a 2-week run ad, which is huge, right? 1 in 5 Facebook videos are now live broadcasts. So when it comes to video, think about a live broadcast. Do it from your car, not while you're driving. Please, no driving and videoing. That's all I ask. Okay. Now, 42% of customer service responds to an inquiry to an ad within the first 60 minutes. How many of you pick up your phone when someone calls you? Sometimes. This is just killing me, man. Killing me sometimes. Do you call it? Do you call it that?
I do.
Okay, that's important. I can't tell you how many times I've called on listings. And I've gone through 7 agents, not a single one picked up. 3, 5, 10, 20 days later, I hear back from one person who by then, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in that home anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're the agent, oh my God, you're not interested in selling that home. If you're doing something like social media and you post out something and you do an ad, someone responds to it, set up your notifications to respond to that ad. Don't go days, weeks, months, heaven forbid, because you're missing out on opportunities. Your job is trying to get leads and try to nurture those leads, right? It's all about communication. Now, do you respond within the 30 seconds? No. But at least give yourself at least that half hour to an hour. I would imagine, depending on if you're having a busy day, you should be able to reach back to somebody if they called you within a half hour to an hour, right? Even just to say, by the way, video text message is huge. Video text message, hi Jane, I'm sorry, I can't call you right back. I'm out showing property to a client, but I will give you a call back when I'm done at 4 o'clock, okay? Boom. Number one, you're doing it from the car. They don't see you just at home,
Okay. So
right?
you just don't pre-film it, right? To
You don't
say-
pre-film it, you film it. Same thing, here, anybody here have the crazy person that just calls you constantly? Has anybody experienced that yet? Where they call you 5, 10 times inside of 10 minutes?
That's crazy, yeah.
Hey,
But there are clients like, hey,
She has a point, it's a good idea to have a pre-filmed,
So
like
that way-
don't want to pre-film. Say in between appointments, right? You're going from one property to the next. You get in the car as you're plugging your GPS, maybe you do a video text message. Hey, I just got your text message. I can't call you right now because I'm out showing up, or I'm out doing an inspection, but I'll give you a call back in about 2 hours. I just didn't want to let you feel that I was ignoring you. 30 seconds, great for a text message. You send it out. They see that you're actually busy in the car. If you want to redo it, yeah, just don't let them. You know, when you call them and you're videoing it, change clothes. Oh, yes, maybe, right? Be careful of that. But you want to be honest in your communication. So if you're doing that, it's way better than getting on a phone call, because I get it. You're on a phone call. Sometimes they're the talker that won't let you go.
Yeah, there are people like that, yes.
Video text message.
Okay.
Number one, how many of you have ever mistaken text messages for people being angry?
Yes, because sometimes they don't have captions or they don't have any like.
Or maybe they got the caps lock on by mistake, so now you feel like they're yelling at you, right? When they're not. Video text message conveys your emotion, what's going on, that words sometimes can't convey, right? That's why it's always good to have a phone call, because you get to actually interpret the person's voice. But now with the video, you get to see, oh, they're totally cool, we're fine.
Yeah.
Right? Just means that you're willing to contact the client just right now, you're busy, and you will give them a call back. Hopefully they won't ward out of you. That's the whole point of that. Okay. All right. Real quickly, and I know that I've got about half hour. So in the presentation, you've got a 30-day calendar. Just know there's something to post on every day of the week. By the way, has anybody know what national day it was last week? There were several. There was Women's National Day. There was also Cat National Day and Dog National Day.
That's National Pet Day today.
National Pet Day today? That's great,
Video content idea.
right? Content. People always go, I have nothing to talk about. Well, talk about something each and every day. Right? Shows engagement. This is where having assistants help. It can help you make that content sometimes. There are other cheat methods out there that make it really easy. Chat GPT for one, to help you write content, right? Based on your topics. Okay. Whoop, there we go. So there's a calendar there. There's another little tidbit. Okay. talk on Facebook, 3 things to get you, home ready to market, how you should choose your listing agent, top 3 places to market your home, all things to talk about. Okay. Again, you're getting a copy of this, but it's okay. I like the fact that you're all engaging. All right. The whole goal of this game plan is to make informed relationships. You're going to earn those connections. You're going to get others to like you. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's meet up and close the deal. Right? Because that's the only way to get the money. Right? We make those connections online. We talk about them. We build that rapport. Maybe we help them find a home. But now we need to get them into that home to fall in love with it fully. Regardless of what they say today, real estate is still a face-to-face business. People want to feel that they're at home. They want to feel that they're in a good place. And you're there to help them. And once they feel good about that place and they make that offer, the reward is your commission. That's not the sole purpose. Honestly. Right? Sales is hard. Right? But we all see the people who are desperate to make a sale. Do we want to use them? No. The people that we feel comfortable with, that we've earned those connections with, those are the people we want to use. Well, guess what? Our clients are no different. We have those plans in place and we have that strategy in place and we're building all that. This is what's going to help us. And of course, did I skip past? Oh, of course. Because I had my, dang it. Well, let's see. Let's get into my YouTube one. Because I know I have one on YouTube. Because I want to go over the strategy for YouTube and give you video content. Let's see, Dropbox. Sorry, I apologize.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Regarding, I know we may talk about this today about like regulations, like for what we can say and stuff regarding like to protect ourselves, so we're not getting in trouble.
Mhm.
If you do content that's like, let's say on YouTube, and you're talking about more in depth, like, let's say, for example, the CalHAPA Dream for All program, and you're going to talk about that.
Mhm.
Is there any like, you have to obviously say, hey, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a lender, it's a real estate agent. Did that cover you? Is that all you have to do? Or is there something you have to say to cover yourself more if you were to talk about that?
So what specifically are you doing your video on the lending
So
itself?
Let's say I'm a realtor
Mhm.
and some guy, like basically the CalHAPA kind of was like that program, the 20% down that like they had as like a program for America, for California.
Okay.
That
So-
program, if you talked about just the basics of it.
If you talk about the basics of it, then that's fine. Okay. The talking of the basics of it is fine. You don't want to go into huge details because unless you're some sort of financial expert or have some degree in finance, I would avoid it. But this is where that would be a great partnership with a lender who can actually elaborate, whereby you could ask questions, and based on those questions, that lender who would actually know more specifics about that program could talk about it. So it's, you could always have the disclaimer, hey, what's your point of view on this? And what would be, what would happen with this scenario, that scenario? Now, all of a sudden it's not all on you, you're asking an expert or someone who's more geared in that industry to be able to answer that question. So I think that's a way of avoiding that risk to you. Now you could say, hey, there's a program out there that would allow you to do a 20% down and talk about like some of the outlines of it. But for more specific information, reach out to me and I have a lender who would be able to elaborate further. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, like, because like they give out the guidelines are very clearly on the website.
Right. So you can reiterate the guidelines, right? But then to because it doesn't apply to everybody. Hey, for your unique situation, why don't you reach out to me and I have a lender that would be able to answer your specific needs.
Right. That's what I'm thinking, but we're just trying to like be able to talk about different topics, but brief enough.
And then just reference where you got that information from. Hey, from the XYZ calhalfa.gov website, this is their current guidelines. Now, what does that mean? That's a great question. You know, I am interpreting this way, but let's ask an expert. Stay tuned next week, right? So you give them the excuse, right? So, and that leads us into this one. So, So our approach to video marketing. Directing video starts with your plan. It's the idea, the plan, and the action, right? Like with everything, when it comes to your marketing, the idea is I want to do video marketing, right? It's the plan that you put into place that makes that effect or makes that marketing happen. Without that plan, there is no action. It's like the strategy. We go with the strategy of what do we want to talk about. Our videos are no different here, but we just have to have a plan in place. Now, my 4-part plan, super easy. Okay. Part 1 of the plan, you got to dedicate resources, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money though. As a matter of fact, making videos is the easiest DIY, do it yourself platform out there. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Zoom. We all have the capability of making video. Okay. Spend time to record, like with everything else. And of course, a place, office or home, depending on your situation. Where is it quietest to make your video? In your car, maybe. I don't know. Right? Maybe not while you're driving in traffic. Equipment. Camera or mobile device is good. Why? Today's cameras on our mobile devices record in 4K, 1080p, high def, and 4K. So we don't necessarily need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a high-end camera. Our phones are it. Microphone is huge though. We want clear audio. We definitely recommend a mic. Now you can go expensive or non-expensive. Expensive is you can buy a lavalier mic for a couple $100 off of Amazon, which is great. Hey, I hook up my lavalier receiver into my phone via Bluetooth or maybe in a cord. Now I have a wireless mic attached to me. And I think one is Rode, R-O-D-E, Rode. That's it. I think that's like 250, almost 300. There's another one I have. And of course, I didn't bring it to me or with me today. That was like 250. Comes with 2 microphones and 1 receiver. I do, because now I can be 30 feet away from my camera and still have great clear audio, right? A lot of times people can get away with really bad video, but if your audio is horrible, they don't want to watch it. If your audio is great, they'll listen to you all day long, right? Especially where most people are listening, their cars, walking the dog, whatever. Pardon watching the video. Now, another one, video editing software. iMovie is great. Mac users in the room, iMovie is free. You don't have to spend anything. It's a great, nice, easy, robust, easy to use tool. PC users, Movie Maker. It's just one of the many apps. Maybe you use both platforms, tablet, computer device, Mac device. Go with some sort of like online editor. I like WeVideo, W-E-V-E or VIDEO.com. For $100, I can put all my videos together online, record it, shoot it off to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever I want to post it after I make it, and it does it in 4K quality. I can add in titles. I can add in my edits really easy for $100 a year, which is great. So we got our not expensive to somewhat expensive. Now the idea or what I like about WeVideo, I can be on this computer here. have my video edited or beginning to edit, but then I leave my computer here at work and I go home. As long as I log into my account, I can access that same video and continue my edits. Whereas if it was on the one device, we're stuck. Part 2. We want to figure out what type of story we want to tell, right? Pretty easy. You got to think about the audience you are wanting to connect with, and also consider what audience you want to attract. So our message is important. Based on our message, how we're delivering it, what we're talking about, that's the type of clientele we are connecting with. She sees doom and gloom in the business. But guess what type of clients she's going to attract? Doom and glooms. This young lady sees all positive in the market, but she's going to attract people who see the same things, right? Like attracts like. Right? All the mindset. Okay. You want to think about how you're going to tell it. But most importantly, keep it short, but informative. So to start, you want to give them small nuggets of information, 2 to 3 minutes, the most. All right. Because why? You want to give the audience an excuse to connect with you. They need to want more. Right? Don't tell them 10 things in order to buy a property when 3 is good enough. Why? Because after number 3, what else is there? Is there anything else? Give them that excuse. Remember, marketing is fishing, right? Anybody here ever go fishing? Not really? Okay, sir. Not even in the game you've never fished?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in Minecraft,
Is she alive?
how did you fish? Click a button, but what's the idea? What did your little guy do? He's got a little fishing pole. Okay, the water, right? Okay. Idea behind fishing, to catch fish, you've got 2 things to do. You can either take the bait, right? Dump it in the water and hope to God a fish jumps in your boat, right? Or we actually put a little worm on the hook, we throw it in the water, grab that one fish, right? Makes it more efficient. So our videos and our content is that small little nuggets, the bait. We cast it out there, we get somebody on the hook and we reel them in. So instead of 10 things, we talk about 3 things. 3 things in order to list your home. And in the video, we say, for more information, give me a call, shoot me an email, whatever, right? An excuse. Maybe this young lady goes online, writes a comment. I've done steps 1 through 3, but is there another 4th step? Right? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to respond to her. I'm going to tell her, hey, step number 4 is this. But anything after that, let's talk, because your situation might be different. Your next steps will be key. It shows engagement. The one big thing that agents forget is that they don't engage on social media. They'll put this stuff out, but when people write or comment or ask questions, agents forget to comment or write the answers to those questions. What impression are you giving to people in that sense? Anybody? You're not active, you don't care, you're just posting out stuff. It might not even be you. Why should I give you my business? Give them that excuse. It shows connection and willingness to be engaging. Now, when it comes to your videos, avoid fading to black. For some strange reason, our minds are triggered that when a video goes to black, we begin to forget information and who gave me the information. So when it comes to your video, end it with your contact information. Develop a slide in PowerPoint, Keynote, wherever, with your information on it. First point of contact, right? My DRE license number, my name, my company, my phone number, my email address, which now per DRE, anywhere in my video, as long as I have that information, whether it's in, middle, or end, in this case, the end, I've met my DRE requirements. So instead of going to black, end it with the information and the call to action. Give me a call, shoot me an email, subscribe to my channel, or access me on Facebook to engage more. Okay. Now from here, third part of the plan, schedule your time to do videos. Consistency is key. If you only do one video, which by the way, I've known too many agents to only do one video and then they immediately say, this stinks.
And what time frame are you talking? Like one video a day, one video a week?
Ah, we're going to talk about that, right? You need to put out numerous videos consistently before you notice results. A perfect example, took me close to 2 years before I even got 30 subscribers. More than 10 views on my videos. Now I'm just training, right? Ideally, you should do a video at least once a week. Once a week. Now, I know you immediately are thinking, oh my gosh, you're asking me to do something once a week. That's impossible. No, not once a day. But by the way, just once a week is a lot. No one can do this right away. No one. You did 3. Oh, okay, well, there you go. All right, well, if you've got the time for it, sure. But again, if you're normally busy marketing, showing, negotiating, once a week is tough, especially with all your edits that you've got to do, depending on your topics, your repurposing, right? You got to build up to it. I'm going to ask you to at least do one video a month. One a month. Is that a good commitment from anybody here? If you think about it, if you did one video a month, before you know it, you got 12 videos.
So like nowadays, if you want to grow a channel, like they say on TikTok, you do 5 a day.
TikTok is.
Even
But
Instagram.
look at your age demographic. They're 18 to 25-year-olds. What are they doing? Gaming. Right?
Well, who's their mom and dad are buying something, or their mom and dad are
But
buying.
they're not going on TikTok.
Okay.
Kids don't want their parents where they're at.
No, but the kids can see the house and then they can send it to their parents.
You have a lot of kids that say, hey, mom, do you really want to live at this place? Not necessarily, depends. They could. Not saying you don't have to, you shouldn't do it, try it on TikTok, but be mindful. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of experience. So I experienced the more I posted at least consistently. And I usually did 2 to 3 a week
Mm-hmm.
consistently, and then also live stream. But that was able to grow the channel a lot faster than you do. If you do one video a week, you don't get you'll notice because Facebook ranks or you rank your videos based off of 1 or a 10.
Mhm.
1 being your best performing, 10 being your worst. Every time I didn't follow that protocol, like I would go and miss a video, the algorithm punishes me. with 10
Yeah,
out of 10.
it does.
So I think consistency of at least 2 videos a week, at least me, that's what I found the most success with personally. 2 videos a week and real estate, you just gotta kind of plan it.
Listen to
But
the.
this isn't an expert, right? That's great. I'm just generalizing for most agents, they can't do 2 a week. I can barely get them to do 1 a week. That's why I kind of said, let's start off with a month.
Yeah.
They at least start off with a month.
I think it's a build up, yeah.
It is a buildup, right? The big thing is, what do I talk about? When do I have time to do it? When do I have, they've got to make the time, right? It's the excuse. That's why we, out of 35 people who registered for class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here out of 35. Why? Because I don't have time. I'm too busy. I'm this and that and the other. I'm not only asking to do a 1 week thing, right? This case, I want you to start 1 a month. My analogy is this, it's like working out. Gee, you can't lift 225 pounds right away, right? You have to build up to it. Took you about what? A month of every day, 2 hours a day to bench press 250, right? Well, that is a lot, right? Depends on how often, but it depends on how often you go to the gym, right? If you go to the gym every day for at least an hour, 2 hours a day, depending on what it is that you're doing, you can build up to that, right? You build your endurance, you can go longer, you can run longer, last longer, whatever. Same kind of concept. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so are you defining video as like a movie? Are we talking a video that we're actually in the video? Because it's.
Either one.
Okay,
Because you're going to have, depending on your topics, this is also going to dictate your schedule, right? You got quarterly videos, monthly videos, weekly videos, and on the fly, right? This is where you can all of a sudden go 2 or 3 a day, depending on what's going on, right? This is all your schedule. There are some videos that you're only going to do once a quarter, once a month, weekly if necessary, or yearly. Just depends on your type. So you've got to know what it is that you want to do, which is also going to dictate how often you do it. Right? And that's going to be based on your subject matter. Now, you're uploading in analytics. You want to be mindful of where you're going to be posting this to. So you're going to post it to all your social media, YouTube, Facebook, business page, Instagram, TikTok, Snap. I don't even think Snapchat's still around anymore, is it?
They actually now come back because they pay creators both for their stories and for their posts. So now all the big creators are there.
And guess what? Facebook will say, hey, we're going to do the same thing, right? Everybody's going to be able to do the same thing, just on different platforms. Each one's going to be a little different. Post that video there. Now, Instagram, you've got what? Your Instagram story versus your Instagram live versus your Instagram video. Now, each one of those are going to be different, shorts, whatever, right? So you're going to post your content differently based on the platforms that you're trying to market. Fire hose, we just need to narrow it down. Just pick one thing, get good at it before going off to the next. That's a big thing for us as adults. So much to do in technology nowadays, right? Not one way of doing it. We can eventually ask Alexa or Be Human. You don't even have to be on video, young lady. Did you know that there's an AI called BeHuman.ai that will allow you to just record one message and you can put it to a whole email list of names, and that video will change per name from one video you recorded. So you could do a 250 mail list and you could say, hi, name. And based on that spreadsheet, we'll change that name to Bob, Susan, whoever you put in that list.
So behuman.ai, right? Okay.
The letter B, human.ai. It's crazy. You don't even have to be on video. You can pick someone else to stand in.
But then when you meet them in person, they're like, who are you?
I
That
want
was
the
my
robot.
assistant.
Okay, that's my assistant.
There's an
Okay.
AI out there that sounds exactly like Alexa, but she will read whatever script you type in. It's crazy what you can do nowadays. Yes, sir.
Much want to add, like, at least for ways to kind of optimize or help out is like, if you make a YouTube video,
Mhm.
so obviously you could, it's best to like keep that just on YouTube, but you could take minutes, like let's say it's a 5-minute video, cut it up in different minutes, the most important parts, and then post those separately to other channels.
Yeah.
So it'll just cut down on that.
It's just repurposing content. You can make a 1-hour video, like a podcast, strip out the audio out of it, right? And actually Zoom separates out the audio file as well as audio video. You take the audio file, you put it to all your audio, Spotify, wherever, have your podcast there. Maybe you take the video, use a video editor, and now you break it down into 5 to 10 minute segments or less for your video shorts, your multiple postings, all that. And then you just put them on YouTube and hit schedule and say schedule one a day for a week. So now all those videos that you just posted now go out, but that's part of that consistency, that average, right? Those are great. By the way, analyze and measure. Realtors, educators that we're also now a TV station. You want to see how well your videos are doing, which videos are getting the most views, because obviously what gets the most views, you do more of. Or more videos like that, right? How long they're watched, if they're being shared, if there are viewer comments, by the way, if they comment back. Shows engagement, shows our ability to be reached, which is huge. today. But we're a programming station at this point,
Is
right?
there- Yes, we're programming. Is there a difference between, or in your opinion, like Instagram stories versus the post, and which is more effective?
This depends on your audience. I think, what is it? Instagram stories is what, a minute long and is gone after 24 hours? The story is, right? So are you okay with the story disappearing after 24 hours? Right? Well, maybe in that segment where people just have that short attention span, right? But then other people who want to know a little bit more, you put it to, what is it, the Facebook or Instagram video, where it allows you longer than 1 minute long videos and can stay there indefinitely. So I think both are good. Why not? It's like a teaser. Give them a little teaser. Come back, subscribe to my channel or my Instagram page and get more information. And maybe instead of an hour long, you give 10-minute segments. Shows consistency on your topics. Let's see here. So the types of videos you're going to produce, about me videos. We did one earlier today, right? 30 seconds long, really easy to do. Introduce yourself, your team, your listing videos, always important. Client testimonials. Now this one is a must. Those of you 2 years, have you done business? Have you closed an escrow? Good. Did you get them on video? Got them on photos. Great. That's great that they have their excitement. Day you close escrow and you hand them the keys. If you don't mind, I'd like to get a video recording. Tell me about what you thought about my services. Stand back and watch. Record that. Remember that 1 minute long video can convey what 1.8 million words can convey.
Yeah.
In our earlier class, we talked about building rapport and trust, right? People want to see your views, but they also want to see your client's views about what you did. So now all of a sudden, when you're recording your client, oh, thank you, and I'm sorry, your name again?
Blair.
Blair. Oh, Blair. Sorry, Blair. You should know that by now. Blair.
Oh my God.
Blair, there we go. Hey, Blair, thank you so much for helping me and my wife buy our very first home. We didn't think we'd ever qualify at a 530 FICO score. Thank you for hooking us up with that Fed loan where we only had to come in with the
0% down.
0% down, whatever. Thank you so much. Now, what people are going to see is clients' genuine excitement. It's not scripted, their happiness, and maybe something that you did outside of the norm that you normally forget to market about yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden people go, wow, that's great. I want to get to know Blair. I want to get to know E. Right? Now I know some people usually go, what happens if they say something horrible about you?
You just
Oh
don't
my
let
God.
Please don't post it. Oh
You
my.
didn't know your
Oh, yeah.
God, this is a torturous thing. Number one, do you post it?
No.
Not necessarily. This is where we want to control the narrative. Right? Sure, I'll post it. Don't be afraid. People say bad things. It's okay. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm now going to record an apology video.
Oh.
I'm so sorry that you had that experience with me. Thank you very much for your honest feedback. I like to be judged and critiqued. I want to make sure that I do better next time. And I want to hopefully help you out again to show you how much better I did. But again, I apologize for giving you such a bad experience. I'm going to post that. Number one, other people are going to go, wow, Tony's not afraid of anybody getting a bad review. But you know what? Tony is actually wanting to do work to try to improve himself. Guess what? She, my client, is now going to do. She's going to refer her worst enemy to me. Well, geez, if he did such a bad job for me, I guarantee you he's going to give a bad job to somebody else. What happens? She refers that horrible person to me and I do a better job. Number one, she's going to be, wow, I can't believe he did that. But number two, wow, he actually took what I said to heart and actually wanted to improve. Maybe now all of a sudden, you know what? If he can treat my worst enemy that way, maybe he can treat my best friend even better. So don't be afraid of the bad client testimonials. Now, if you keep getting them, we need to reevaluate business,
Or change.
right? We need to look at if everybody's saying you don't know your contracts, guess what you need to do? Be back in here learning your contracts. Because we want to show better performance, right? Obviously, interview videos. Now, interview videos go beyond just your title, lender, and escrow. Interview people of the public. Where are you marketing? Irvine, what particular area of Irvine?
Great Park.
Great Park, excellent. So what businesses are there in Great Park besides the ski rink? Because you've already got the ski rink locked down. What's a good business that maybe people don't know about in Great Park?
I was going to say Chipotle, but I think everybody knows it.
Right? If you're marketing an area, maybe you go to that business center, right? That mom and pop store that you probably all have seen, right? And you go in there, you actually have some food and it's great. But you notice that there's you and that's it. What's our big complaint? I have no business. Nobody knows about us. Well, let me interview you. People are going to be happy. Businesses will be happy for free advertisement. You're willing to advertise me? Great. Thank you. Yes, I want to talk about it. Right? Sure. Geez, Blair, thanks for coming by. You know what? Blair, you seem so nice. Come on by. Anybody mentioning your name, I'm going to give them special treatment. Right? Things like that. By the way, local and community videos are huge. People want to know about the areas that are living in. So what's great about living in Great Park?
All the new amenities, so many new, brand new pools.
What's top 3 things?
The school
School?
amenities,
What kind of amenities?
like swimming pools, ice skating rink, you have kids play areas.
Excellent. And the third thing about
Chipotle.
the Chipotle. Hey, you know what? Somebody who loves Chipotle. Wow, where's that Chipotle in Great Park? I was just there. I couldn't find it. Blair, tell me where it is. Right? You'd be surprised, right? How often have you gone online to look for food places and people talk about it? Don't you hunt for it? I know I do. I do. Right? I admit I love food. By the way, your market update, people want to know about the market. Special offers. Hey, Blair, thanks for interviewing me. If they mention your name, I'll give a 10% discount on their bill, right? That means that people seeing your video now goes to that restaurant, mentions your name to take advantage of that. If the client is the business going to be happy to get business, heck yeah. We keep mentioning your name. Hey, that's 10%. That's way better than 0. 10% of something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Or 90% of something is better than nothing. Client process. Here's one. Clients don't understand the process of buying or selling a home, especially when they're in escrow. How many of you know your entire escrow process? To each stage. If you happen to know it, the thing about it is hey, he's my gamer, but you know what? This is his first time buying a home. He's not familiar with the process. Who is he looking for? Or who is he looking to guide him through this process? Is it escrow or me? Me, his agent, right? And my customer service? Darn right. Because if I can show him full customer service and hold his hand, God, tell him to hold your hand. But if I hold his hand through this entire process and say, hey, this is going to be what you to expect. Wouldn't that be easy to do in a video? Hey, by the way, we've got 45 days of acceptance of an offer. This is what we've got to go through in order to get that property closed. For the next 17 days, you've got your contingencies. You do all your inspections. I'm going to try to schedule them all within the first 5 days. That way, when we get the disclosure documents. This gives you time to review everything. By the way, the lender's going to reach out to you. They're going to ask you for all your financials. Make sure you get that done. And you've got 3 days to get your earnest money deposit in, right? You're going to do that type of process.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if he goes, what did my agent do for me when I was there, scratching my head going, oh my God, I didn't realize this was you. I didn't understand any of this. I'm overwhelmed with the paperwork. My agent just sat back and just got a commission check. He does a review video. What does that tell everybody else? I'm a lazy agent. I'm not out there to help people. I'm there for me, my pocket. At least if I can give them a video like that, and at least explain the process and what to expect in a quick, easy fashion. A minute or two, right? Home buying and selling advice, top 3 tips, top 4 tips, whatever. Instructional videos, great. Hey, this is what you need to do in order to sign a contract electronically. This is what you need to do to look for these sections of the contract. This is what this means, that means this, the other. Maybe you make an office team video. So if you're on a team or maybe you're not, that's okay. Talk about your office. People want to see that you're in a good, nurturing environment. Upcoming events, your year-end review. The big thing about year-end review, you thank everybody that you worked with this year. Excuse me, that helped make you successful. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Susan, for working with me and making this year possible. I hope you all in your new homes are loving it. I know it was fun working with you. I hope I did a great job. Honestly, thank you very much for your testimonials. I look forward to any referrals that you send me. Now, the type of video will also dictate your schedule. Like your year-end review should be done once a year. Market updates should be either monthly or quarterly. Community information, those should be your weekly or monthly. Client testimonials are going to be as needed. So he's closing what? How many escrows this week? Right now? 0. What about this month? 0. Okay. We're going to build on that, right? Before you know it, you might have 3 or 4 closings this month. Do a video for each of those closings, right? Maybe they're all closing today, right? That's your 3 videos. Instructional videos are monthly. But more importantly, knowing the types of videos that you're trying to do is going to help you with your schedule, right? It becomes more predictable. And again, we talk about the meet and greet. And that's pretty much what we got to do. Now, we got to remember code of ethics, okay, as well as MLS rules. MLS rule and regulations 12.8 states that a listing shall not be videoed or advertised other than the listing agents or the broker unless they've given you written permission.
Oh, it has to be written.
Written,
You can't just call them. They say,
No.
"Okay."
because now all of a sudden you say something wrong about the property. I can now claim that I never talked to you, I never gave you permission, now you're in trouble. This is a $2,500 fine from MLS on top of code of ethics, on top of false advertising. Technically, per the listing agreement, it states that the listing agent and the listing broker are responsible for any and all advertisement done on the home. So we gotta be super careful about that.
Does written include if I send a text message? So if I text the listing agent, say, can I film? They say, yes, will that cost?
I would always follow it up with an email because depending on who your judge is, most judges in the state of California do not accept text as in writing. That would be considered a verbal conversation.
Wow, okay.
They're starting to get a little bit more lenient, but as it stands right now, in writing is either a handwritten or emailed correspondence.
Okay.
But why? What's the reason, like, behind that? Isn't
Because
there
again,
benefit-
it's
is it
It's
benefit?
the broker's responsibility for information that's done about the property. It's stated in their listing agreement that the only person that's allowed to video is either that listing agent or the listing brokerage. Paragraph 14. Your listing agreement. They have to agree to either allow photos and videos to be done or not allow. Paragraph 14B states that open house, all the more reason. If I walk in going, oh, I want to videotape, that listing agent's responsibility to immediately say, I'm sorry, you cannot video. Because there's a contract out there called the photo video release form, where it states what is and is not allowed by the homeowner or the personnel of what property or persons are allowed and not allowed in the video or pictures.
Yeah.
So if they have a Picasso on the wall and you walk in and start videotaping, now you email that to a client and they email it to someone else. Now everybody all of a sudden knows that there's a Picasso in there. Now the risk of that property getting broken into is now higher. Who's responsible for that?
Okay.
Not me. Well, not only me, the person who took the video, but the agent who was there. If I walk in and I say something incorrect, say I'm hosting an open house for this young lady's listing, and she gives me written permission, but I say something wrong,
I'm still on the.
you're still on the hook. Because your contract states that you are responsible.
I see. So if I'm the listing agent, even if I want other agents to promote, maybe before they post it, I will ask them to send it to me so I can double check to make
But who's
sure.
going to do that? They're doing a live video.
Yeah, no fly video on my listing.
Not to mention, what happens if your homeowner all of a sudden sees you do a video and they don't know you? Why is this person taking a video of my home? Who is this person? What's going on? Now all of a sudden the responsibility is on me. Well, I didn't think it would be a big deal. It must be a big deal to the home.
So quick
The
question.
homeowner doesn't know you. Why are you doing it? It's privacy. The CCPA, Consumer Protection Privacy Act. Got to be careful about information being out there,
Yeah,
right?
but if,
I'll take your question and your question right after. But I know it barrels right into everything, doesn't it?
yeah, but the question is, if you're the listing agent, I'm the buyer's agent, and then you give me the permission to film, then do you still have to ask your homeowner to say, I say, so it's like a level of report, right? I send you
Because
an
again, if
email.
you say something, there's something wrong with people, I'm the responsible party that allowed it to happen. Not only does it, say like, again, we're holding the open house, and I got his permission, but I say something incorrect. Well, now I've hindered the homeowner from selling their home because of incorrect data. Maybe I accidentally said there was a death on the property, or the square footage was incorrect.
Yeah,
I potentially have hindered the homeowner from selling their home, highest and best offer.
I see. So ultimately, if I'm the listing agent, you send me an email written request, it's better for me to forward it to the homeowner. And
To get
again,
their permission, see if it's okay.
I
And
see.
then it's a matter of your responsibility on what avenues, who's going to see the video.
I see, then I will be in collaboration with you, be like, okay, can you send me the final?
And restrict
video?
them.
And only post on X, Y, but they don't post anywhere.
And this is only the things that you're allowed to say, do, whatever. Right? Because without that clear cut, it's way better to always say, no, I'm sorry, we don't allow it. Right? Especially in the contract, they say under paragraph 14B, no one else is allowed. That's smart, and they can't, even with permission, you can't let them do it. Because it's contract.
But the homeowner doesn't have to check that 14B, right?
They don't have to, but if
But
they
They
do,
do, then just clear cut.
clear cut.
Okay,
Yes,
So I had, 3 questions.
all right.
Number one is like, when you say this, can you get a general, like, let's say, hey, like, there's a couple, let's say like multiple agents want to film. You have to do it individually, or can you just be like, hey, we have like these people, like this group of people, or like. Going forward, am I allowed to give permission to?
I would talk to your broker on that one. I would usually say it's always up to the individual, because again, you just gotta be careful, right? Because how often, if you've ever hosted an open house, and this is a big deal, right? Because a couple of years ago, this happened. Somebody came into the home claiming to be the agent, whipped out their phone and started videotaping the property. Property ended up closing its open house later that day. And the person who was not an agent, it turned out to be, came back 20 minutes later and robbed the house. They knew exactly where to go because they had previously filmed everywhere they needed to go to get what they wanted out of the house.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
this is why we need to be careful.
Yeah.
It's tough enough holding an open house, and we've got to watch people going upstairs, accessing private areas, stealing medications and jewelry and all this other stuff. Heaven forbid they go into a closet and hide out and wait to attack you. Which do open houses in teams. But these are things that we have to be mindful of because you have a huge amount of responsibility on your shoulders. By the way, that's just the MLS rules. Code of ethics can be also violated by an agent by mistake.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
So that, from what I'm hearing, that would include, for example, I am previewing for a buyer and I'm taking quick video and the listing agent says, yeah, take all the video you want.
Get it in writing.
Okay, the second thing would be if I'm videoing like different parts of the home, like maybe highlighting, I'm gonna do a reel on bathrooms or something. And I'm posting like 10 different bathrooms and we don't have an address. It's just posting, modern bathrooms.
If you're still advertising someone else's home that you legally do not have the right to advertise,
So that's a no-go.
that would be a no-go
What about model?
because you don't have their permission. Model home, that's
Yeah.
still owned by the builder.
Yeah.
And that company office still need to get their permission to advertise a property that you legally do not have permission to do. If that listing agreement clearly states in marketing and advertising that you and your brokerage are allowed to legally market the home, no one else. Right? That's why it's key that you are allowed to put it on your for sale sign and not someone else. Because if they don't have a listing agreement, they don't have the legal representation or responsibility to market that home.
So whatever now going on, it's like at own risk.
Well, and again, you got to be careful of code of ethics. It's all about one of your code of ethics articles, Article 12, about perception. Most people forget that when they start to videotape, the perception being perceived is you're the listing agent. If you're not legally the listing agent, but you're giving that perception you are, you're now deceiving the public. You're in trouble for that. That's why there's clear definitions in our MLS rules about when you're advertising a listing, say on print or even on video, you have to now give the full credit of the property address, the listing agent, and the listing office information. If you're not involved in that listing, you have to give that full on credit to that listing brokerage, that listing agent, and the address of the property.
So the address of the property, the listing agent, what about their contact information? Do I have to have that?
No.
Just their name and
Their
then their.
name and their brokerage,
Okay. Okay.
right? I think that's MLS rule 12.6.
Sorry, do I have to tag them or just list their name?
List
Okay,
their name with all that there,
brokerage
and then
and
clearly state that this is not your listing.
just if I say listed by so and so from this office, here the address, that should be clear. Okay.
Do I have to talk to the listing agent as well? for that?
No, that's where you're getting all that in writing. Right? You're getting all that in writing. So if you're trying to gain leads for yourself, are you really gaining a lead? You still have to get a listing agent credit.
Does that extend to, like, for example, I'm on a team and we share, we don't co-list, but it's understood that among our team that we can advertise.
Team agreement? CAR form for that. Or did you sign an agreement when you joined the team about like commission splits, how things are supposed to be worked out? Or did they just say, hey, come on and work for me?
No, it's an understanding, but it's not, I don't think.
An understanding goes up to a point when it comes to the money. Right? When
So there's
people
a
get in
part-
trouble, CAR form for that. It's called the team agreement. And it clearly defines who the team name is, who the responsible member is, and what your commission splits would be based on working with that team and who gets accredited. And of course, you can add in other addendums by the team lead who now outline exactly specifically what happens with you being on that team, which now, by the way, the broker has to sign it. Because if the broker's not aware, brokers go, well, I didn't know who you are. I just know that you're on your license. I didn't know you were working with the Smith team. Right? Which now, hey, we have a dispute. I'm leaving the team, but I want to take my client. Well, how often does the team go, no, we want that lead. You don't have that right to that lead, we do.
But does that like always apply or only when the close 14 is fine?
For the videoing or pictures or anything like that, it's paragraph 14 on the listing agreement. A says the seller does not want you to take photos as a listing agent or video at all of the
If the
property.
seller pick that, if not.
So you got paragraph 14A, 14B. 14A says if they are allowing you, their listing agent and brokerage to take video and photo of them. That paragraph is marked, then no. Which now you got to submit a copy of that to MLS showing them why you don't have photos on your listing. Which, by the way, that's a rule that you have to have at least one photo. Number two, does the seller allow for other people of the public to take photo or video of the property? That's smart, then no. Right? That's a straight up no. So now you as a listing agent would tell somebody, I'm sorry, I can't let you do that because of the contract. Now, on top of that, you've got the PRV or PVR, the photo video release, where they clearly state what's allowed and not allowed to be photographed or video, even of people. Excuse me, you also have PIA, photo image agreement. Now that agreement is between you, the listing agent, and the photographer. What rights they're giving you to use their photos and videos in your marketing. And do they give you full ownership copyright of that photo or
Yeah,
video?
that's a form you have to sign.
That's a form that you would have to get. So those are two big forms when you're listing the property. What they want you to take photos and videos of, what they're giving you permission to or not. Don't take a picture of my Lamborghini, take a picture of my Picasso. Right? Clearly stated. Great. And then the photo image agreement, where that's between you and the photographer, which, by the way, PVR, you now got to translate to the photographer. Make sure you don't take pictures of this and this. Don't use that.
And that's a separate contract when we do a listing. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be-
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes,
So
sir.
back to the new construction. A lot of times you walk in and they say, there's generally like there's different agents there. And then you go, yeah, feel free, we allow photography here. So that's
I would
only
feel more
one.
comfortable if I could get that in the email.
So I'll say, hey, before I do this, can I get an email saying you're cool with this?
Yep, or put your email so that way you can ask permission and wait for their response.
And for new homes, would you also have to list, like I know you said for the agent, you have to give credit to the agent. But on the new homes, do you have to, you just
Credit to the builder
You
slash
just say like,
office,
I don't know.
whoever the listing office would be, I don't know who
Because
would
it's
run
like,
that.
yeah, I don't know that, like, usually they don't have this option, I just say like, this builders is this, and this is the area, and that's it, I don't need.
Mhm.
Or new builds.
Ask your
Just say
broker
the NAR.
specifically how you want to, how you should word that. Cover your bases. Right? Because again, you don't want to say something by mistake and it be wrong, because now you're responsible. And if you're responsible, they're gonna hold you responsible. You didn't say that right, you didn't say this right. You hindered us from selling 2 units. And they sued you for it.
What's the damage?
You'd be surprised. Like copyright infringement is $150,000 per incident. Like Google is having a field day with agents using, or agents who are using Google like satellite views in their marketing.
Like Google Maps.
Google Maps or the satellite view of the property. And if they've taken a snapshot, well, 150,000 for the MLS, $50,000 for your flyer. And these are automatic fines by the federal government. So in one picture, you can probably crank up easily $450,000 for federal copyright. That's not on top of the $2,500 on up for MLS violations.
So
If
can't.
you've got $450,000 laying around, hey, feel free to give it to me if you don't need it.
So basically don't use Google Satellite or Google Maps.
Don't use any copyrighted material. Try to avoid it as much as possible. right? If you are using it like writing up an article or anything like that, always cite it. But know that if they reach out to you, take it down immediately. Yes.
So here's another question then, since it's probably newer,
Mhm.
probably haven't had anything Boston yet. What if you have articles start creating and use ChatGPT? What's going on?
There's an agreement in your ChatGPT that says whatever you're using ChatGPT for creation, that becomes yours. But you're still citing how it was created. So at the bottom of, say, like that little article it wrote, it will say created by ChatGPT. That's it.
You're okay for now.
Yeah, for now. Until the government decides, after all these lawsuits, like the Pope in the in Italy with the big old winter jacket, which was totally created by ChatGPT. Yeah. So be careful. I mean,
So, yeah, if you
it's still Wild West right now, but I think they're trying to get a handle on it quick.
basically like, let's say I make an article, all I do is put, hey, like, I wrote it with ChatGPT or by ChatGPT.
I use ChatGPT.
At
So-
the bottom, and they like kind of just have somewhere so they can.
Mhm.
So in your, are we talking about citing the credit for that? If say we're writing a listing description,
Mhm.
are you posting that you wrote in ChatGPT?
I don't know what our MLS rules are with regards to ChatGPT just yet. I know that. Yeah, I don't know what our MLS rules are just yet, just because it's still so brand new. I know that for like our website creator, it uses a ChatGPT AI. I know that other people are using it to write certain things like little blog posts or whatever. You still should cite how you generated it. Right? Use ChatGPT to generate my blog. Right? Stuff like that. That way you're citing the source, because at some point somebody's going to say there's a copyright issue. Right? Especially if they know that I failed out of grade school kind of thing because of my English being poor. And everybody knows that I can't, read or write with a darn. And here all of a sudden I start writing award-winning articles. How did you do that? Oh, use ChatGPT. Did you really write it? That's the debate right now.
So we'll know relatively soon.
Well, yeah.
So there's no like, MLS rules specifically on ChatGPT usage for.
MLS says that you should be mindful not to use copyrighted material, right? For your descriptions, for videos, for pictures, right? There are clear do's and don'ts, right? So when does it fall along the lines of your own creativity?
Right.
What words you're using? Right?
The reason why is because like I'll do like I'll give ChatGPT the info of a property
Mhm.
and write something.
Mhm.
Then I'll modify and take out the stuff.
If you're modifying it, you're
Yeah, because you have to filter. It's set the wrong things too.
says
Well,
wrong
that's-
things, fair housing, yeah.
But then, so then that, I guess we don't know yet, but we'll know when there's a rule for if we do a property description, we have to put by ChatGPT.
And look at your agreement with ChatGPT about what you're creating. Right? Because you're putting in the words, you're giving it words to learn from, but then it's generating what
Based
to
on-
write. So whether you own that or not, I would double check your agreement. I think you do if you're paying for it. If you're not, I know that any information you're inputting in becomes ownership of ChatGPT. So you gotta be careful of what you're putting in too. But how else do you expect it to learn and be better? You gotta put stuff in. So it's a fine line.
So I guess eventually we'll have a class.
Eventually. I met a couple of speakers last week and they're all kind of like, it's kind of the Wild West, almost anything can be done right now. Like, well, people will figure it out eventually. All right, anything else? Anybody like this? Anybody excited about making videos and more social media posts? All right,
Really want to make sure I have it.
okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Get in writing.
Get it right. Okay.
So you're gonna send this,
I will send you all the copy of the presentations, I promise. It'll probably be a link to my Dropbox.
Okay. And then one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
So basically, do you recommend us just perfecting on one platform? Say if I focus on Instagram, just do that Then if I have extra energy, then maybe expand to Facebook, YouTube, instead
Yep.
of just all channels.
Get your audience where you want to get them first, where you want to attract. So he may be on YouTube, he may be on Instagram, she's on the Facebook business page. Right? Focus on those platforms, get good at it. Once you feel more comfortable, then expand out. Right? That's where the repurposing may come in, because now all of a sudden you've got all this content on Instagram, but now it's an easy way to filter it and upload it into YouTube, which now all of a sudden you can send it immediately with other means into Facebook, right? So now all of a sudden, before you know it, you've got your systems in place, right? The idea is you're here, I'm giving you ideas, content to talk about, to start developing, because we just need to get you to do once a week, right? How many people are gonna do a video today, once a week? Good, hey, maybe once a month, right? Oh, that's right, we're gonna start off once a month. So what's one popular thing that we wanna talk about? The market, right? But you don't know what to necessarily say here. So script I name myself, right? So.
You were
this is-
ChatGPT.
Huh? No, me. I made this 3 years ago. Now, how you talk about your market. Because of the dots, you fill in the blanks. Use one of your free member benefit tools, InfoSparks. A great statistical tool to actually go over the market realities. Right? The median sales price, active listings, things like that. Or even better yet, your personal experience with what you're doing in your business. Yes.
So specifically, I'm just curious with this because I was thinking of ideas. Stephen Thomas does that report. You buy that report and you analyze it, and you want to go over it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can do that, just a second, where you're getting your numbers from. Right? Now, if you're regurgitating exactly everything verbatim, that's plagiarism from Stephen. But hey, maybe you go, hey, according to Stephen Thomas's annual market analysis report that we're looking at today. See here on my green screen, right there in the right corner. This is what I see. Stephen may say this, but I'm thinking this based on my experience. So now you're taking his content, but you're putting your perception on it. And I call it perception, not spin, but perception. Because again, each and every one of you looks at statistics differently, looks at your market differently based on the niche that you're trying to attract. Which the idea is behind this, how do I want to begin it? It's something super simple. Right? And then of course, again, as you get easier and easier with it, it's going to be, a piece of cake. The only thing I say when it comes to video, you're going to hate yourself for the first 10.
Years.
No, 10 videos. It's practice, right? But by your 100th video, you're like, this is easy. You may even do a review of your very first video that you did and go, oh my God, I can't believe my hair was like this. I can't believe I wore that outfit. Man, you know what? Funny enough, my breath was smelling that day and I was just appalling myself. I should have brushed my teeth. Right? Guaranteed, anybody who's never done video before, all does the same thing. They stare at the camera, they never blink for 2.5 minutes, and they don't breathe. They never take a breath. They try to get everything out all in one breath, and it sounds like this, and then by the end there, with take a breath, smile. You'll eventually get it. The idea behind, because I'm assuming you did like Twitch and stuff like that for your video gaming. Repurpose it. Twitch, by the way, I love Twitch. I love watching Twitch. I don't know why people like watching video games, but it's addictive. But first time you do it, or as you begin to do it, you start to relax more. You smile. The idea with the camera is don't think of it as an audience, think of it as the person. You're connecting with the person across that camera. So when I talk to you out there in Cyberland, or here in the audience, I want to look at each and every one of you. I want to look at each and every one of them, make that connection, to have that rapport, and talk about our subjects. And before you know it, when you're thinking of an individual, like walking through an open house, your own listing, you use a camera to walk around, you talk about things, act like the person is there with you. Hey, we've got the granite countertops that were just installed. We've got the new roof just before all the rain. So It's a new 20-year lease, we'll go from there. I think you guys will have fun. All right. There are no other questions. Are there any other questions? 5 o'clock? No? All right. If there are any other questions, please feel free to contact me at either 949-586-6800 extension 104. Or feel free to email me, tony@ocar.org or tony@ocrealtors.org. Okay, I also do one-on-one, so if you ever want something fun, I think Blair, you and I have done a one-on-one.
Yeah,
Do you have fun with it?
absolutely.
Excellent. So if you ever want to do one-on-ones, I'm free and available to help you do that. We'll just schedule a time and an hour. All right. Enjoy, have fun, happy belated Easter, enjoy the summers. Yeah. I hope this was good for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Out the door off to the left and right here at the hallway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you next time.
See you next time.